when I arrived here at the university, before I came, so I was discussing with my team, and they were telling me about the strike in the Western Cape of the taxis. And I was saying, what other risk is there? Uh, so we're discussing, and I said, have you met with the student leadership? Because they may decide to protest. My first meeting when I arrived here, I had a meeting with amongst others, the president of the SRC. And they told me some of their challenges, and I was sitting there with the speaker, and we said to them, we are going to make sure that those challenges are addressed. Because they are real. I mean, one of the issues they raised was that no proper food at universities, and there are problems with funding. There are a lot of issues, but the DG of Education was with us, and he indicated how those issues are being addressed. So thank you very much to the youth for welcoming us to the university. A big round of applause to the young people. As I said, Program Director, I just really wanted to rise and thank everybody, because all what needed to be said this weekend has been said. We came, we engaged, we listened to one another. I think more importantly, we did not shout at one another. We made our inputs, we listened, we engaged, and we've agreed that this issue about coalition is something that is with us and need to be discussed, and we must learn for those who have walked this road before us. So we must be prepared to learn from others, but we must also learn from our own experiences. I was sitting with some of the colleagues, and we were saying, you know, at the beginning of this democracy, right from 1994, the founding fathers of this nation engaged with other parties. I recall very well that there was a time we worked with the National Party. I think you'll recall the Government of National Unity. And it was just only not national, even in provinces. I'm sure Honorable Masondo will recall when I was with him in Gauteng, we sat in the executive with the National Party in Gauteng. So this issue of working with others, taking into account the context in which we are as a nation, is very important. It's not a new thing. It happened in the president of the IFP in KZN. The IFP and the ANC worked together in the government of provincial unity. So since 2026, there have been various forms of coalitions taking place, and we have now identified where the weaknesses are. So this dialogue really is to say, how do we make it work properly? Because if you ask all political parties here, why do you exist? None of them will say, we want power, we want resources. All of them will say, we want to serve the people. We think we can do it better. So all of us want to serve the people of South Africa. And therefore we agree that we'll look at this framework, as we have said now in the session, where Comrade Joel was chairing, that we'll look at this framework, we'll ensure that going forward, whether we need legislation, regulations, all those things are going to be looked at. I think the most important thing for me is that let's remove suspicions. Uh, there were inputs yesterday that suggested that the ANC and the DA has made some deal. Now they are using this to rubber stamp that deal. There is no deal. There is no deal. We are here to make sure that we come up with a framework that is agreeable to all of us, all parties. So we need to entrench trust when we deal these issues. And I think from international delegates, that issue was emphasized, the issue of trust. We collaborate, we engage, but there must be trust. If we suspect one another, we are not going to succeed. So I'm hoping that we will ensure that we work together going forward. There are issues that we need to address, that we agree on, all of us. We want stability in the country. We want economic growth. We want a South Africa that is prosperous. That's what we want to build. Good governance. A country where the economy grows and creates jobs for people. So it's not just growth for the sake of it. Stable governments at all levels, national, provincial, right up to the villages, those local municipalities. We want them to be stable, to be run by people who have the requisite skills. I think that has been emphasized. Let's appoint the right people for the right jobs. Let's have leadership that is focused. So in brief, we want to make South Africa work. We want to make South Africa stable, so that even the international world out there, people who want to come to South Africa for tourism, for investment opportunities, they must continue to say South Africa remains a preferred destination for them. And we can do it if we ensure stability in the country. Let me conclude, Program Director, by saying that South Africa is a great country, and we must keep it that way. We must keep it that way. We must keep South Africa as a great country for generations to come. It's not just for us, for generations to come. But I'm happy that we have had this dialogue this weekend, and I'm reminded of a Chinese idiom that says, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. So we have begun our first step. Our journey has now begun. I know we came here in the Cape. I think in my opening I said the cold Cape. It was quite cold. So a lot of you wearing coats. But I'm convinced that you have retained enough warmth. So as we depart this afternoon, let our ideas now usher in a period of warmth that will engulf this beautiful nation for many years to come. I think that's what we must do as we live here. There must be no finger-pointing, quarrels. We need this warmth that will take our nations forward. So we've done very well. We've done very well. Program Director, our journey has begun. Yeah, Ke a le leboga kaofela. Siyabonga Baya Danki. Thank you. Akensa. Me famba hi kurhula. Inkomo.